What's up everyone, good morning and welcome your faces to a brand new video. Welcome to my Saturday morning. I think it's the first day of the week that it's not raining on the ride. And I am confined to my rollers. The reason is because I'm doing a pre-race spin this morning. I got a pretty long day of travel ahead of me down to Bristol. It's like a 4-hour drive I think. So early doors I'm just getting a quality pre-race, 50-60 minutes in with some tempo, a few sprints and stuff. And also I washed my bike yesterday and I don't want to risk taking it out on the road and getting it dirty before racing because I'll just have to wash it again. So I thought I'd jump on the rollers early doors, 8 AM, get a quality structured pre-race ride because boy, I am feeling it a little bit from racing last night. So yeah, when you're doing some longer tempo efforts on the road, you know, you got your interruptions of junctions and stuff, so I just thought I'd get on the rollers, keep an eye on my numbers and give myself as best possible chance of recovering ahead of the tour of the mendips tomorrow. Lexi's enjoying the sun, she's just there sunbathing whilst I'm getting my session done and Sam's inside. So the session that I'm doing, for those of you that are interested, well, I've done about 45 minutes right now. I did a 30 minute ride, just like zone 1, zone 2, and then 10 minutes at 315 watts, which is kind of like tempo, mid-tempo, and now I'm 5 minutes into recovery. I'll do another 5 minutes, take it up to 50 minutes, and I think that'll be me done. It's quite a common misconception that like when you're tired and you're feeling tired like before a race, you should just rest or do like a really easy ride with no effort, when actually, in hindsight, for me anyway, I know if I do like a 10-minute tempo effort on the rollers, I feel so much better than if I'd not done that 10-minute effort, you know? I really started to notice this in the tour series, like the 3rd week of the tour series. The last thing, like when I was tired and stuff, the last thing I wanted to do pre-race was a roller session, but once I got it done, I felt so much better than I did before that session. That's just my pre-race routine. Everyone has their own theories and opinions and whatever, but this is just what works for me. Did that session today pre-breakfast, so right now session's done. Getting myself some food and then I've got about 45 minutes before I need to leave. At 10:30. Luckily, my bags are all packed. I did that last night. #organisation. So all I need to do is eat some food, have a shower, double check that I've got everything because I always stress out that I've forgotten something. Like I'm gonna leave my helmet or a pair of shoes or my arm warmers or something. So before I set off the racing, I always like run through my kit bag at least 3 times. All right, skipping ahead a little bit of time, we are now at my local Sainsbury's. Just stopped off to get myself a couple of snacks for the journey. So this weekend I'm in the van. This is actually my dad's van, contrary to popular belief. I know people used to think it was mine, but it's not, it's my dad's. But fortunately, because it's the weekend, he doesn't need it for work, and it's just a little bit more economically friendly than my 350 brake 3 litre straight 6. Anyway, right now guys, I'm gonna crack on, get this journey done. It's about 3.5 hours down to Bristol. I believe we're going from the northwest of England down to like the south, kind of southwest, I think it's categorized as. Don't know what this car's doing, it's just drove in, now it's reversing back, now it's driving back in. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Also, side note, look at that cloud that's moving in. Boy, I thought it was gonna be nice today. Obviously not. So that is officially 1 hour 30 of driving later. We are now at Stafford Services on the M6, stop for Acosta's. Just under halfway down to Bristol. We're making good progress. The traffic is good. There's not too many people on the road, even though the service station is packed out, man. But anyway, a little bit of bad news. I forgot to bring my travel mug. I thought I'd packed it and I stopped. Realized I hadn't, so I've had to use a disposable cup. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I feel bad. But anyway, not one to dwell on the negatives. 1 hour 30 in the bag. Got about 2 hours to go, I think, until we arrive in Bristol. Finally, we have made it to the hotel. I'm rooming with Ollie this weekend because I was here first. I've shotgunned the big bed. He's on the sofa. So Ollie, if you're watching this, sorry buddy, but you should have turned up earlier. Let's take a look at our lovely view from the hotel this weekend here in Bristol. I mean, it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's wet, standard. The journey was pretty decent. Not much traffic at all on this Saturday afternoon. Got here in about 3.5 hours, which is pretty standard. So as you guys know, normally at races we stay in Premier Inns. Like I don't know, that's what the team books. We just stay in Premier Inns. We always stay in Premier Inns, and I think this is the first time this year we've come to a race and it's not been a Premier Inn. We're in Holiday Inn Express, so let's check out the room situation. We got the pretty standard bathroom in here. Have we got a bath? Nope, just a shower. Premier Inns have baths. That's one up for Premier Inn already. Nice little corner sink situation here. The complimentary soap. We even got an ironing board and an iron if you wanna iron your clothes. TV, kettle. Do we have any snacks? Any biscuits? No biscuits. But you also don't get any biscuits at Premier Inn, so you know, equal marks there. I mean, but the room just looks a little bit more cramped, doesn't it? The room is certainly not as big as in a Premier Inn. We got this desk. I mean, if you want to do a little bit of work at the desk when you got the bed out, unless you're the skinniest man ever to walk this planet, you're probably not going to be able to get in there. We've got a lovely choice of pillows here, firm or soft. It's up to you. Same as Premier Inns, they give you 2 pillows. I always go for the thinner of the 2. Like that. And that's basically the room. To be honest, it's pretty similar to Premier Inns. You know, all of these kind of short stay budget hotels, they're pretty much the same. It looks like I'm setting myself up for a confession interview or something, doesn't it, right here? But anyway, between right now and that last shot that you just saw was the tour of the mendips, which was yesterday. And I want to just get this out and I want to get this over and done with and explain it in the video. I want to talk about it now and then I just want to forget about it, you know, and focus on next weekend and whatever else is to come for this season. So the race yesterday was a brand new circuit this year. It's called the Tour of the Mendips. It was on a mega circuit down in Bristol. I think in total in the race there was like 6 main climbs. These varied from like short, sharp climbs to one of them which was like an 8-minute climb. So it was a mega circuit, suited me down to the absolute T. And to jump straight into things, we started racing. About 2 hours of racing. I think it was around 2 hours of racing when this incident happened. We'd done about 2 or 3 of the climbs. I got myself into like an early breakaway, into like an early little move, like just as the flag dropped, basically. And we got caught as we approached as we started the first climb. So I was in a perfect position at the front of the bunch. You know, I kind of knew this bunch wasn't going to stay away, so I was doing as little as possible in the group, just like save and conserve myself. So we got to the climb, the group came flying up, and I had the gas to go with the moves, to go with the efforts at the front. And I set myself up perfectly within that front group. We continued racing, did a few more climbs, and just due to the nature of this course, because it was so hilly, you know, it was hard, it was a grippy course, the bunch had whittled down significantly. I think after around 2 hours of racing, there was 30 guys left in the race, I would imagine. So I was in the front group, me and Steve had made this split from St. Piran, along with all of the usual guys you expect to see at the front of these races. Then there was a gap of about 1 minute 30 to a group of around, I believe it's around 15 or 20 more guys, which we had Will in that bunch. And then behind them, another 2 minutes behind. So, you know, between us and the main bunch, there was probably about a 4-minute gap at this stage. That was like the main kind of significant bunch of the race where the rest of the boys were in. Now, we got to this point, we'd done 2 hours of racing. Steve punctured. Now, normally this shouldn't be too much of an issue because you've got the neutral car behind, you've got the team cars, you know, and especially because we're in a small group, it's dead easy to move back up through the convoy and get back onto the bunch. However, Steve punctured. I looked behind me and thought, oh shit, there's no cars behind. The convoy isn't behind us. We made a split second decision. I stopped, gave Steve my wheel in the hope that he could get back in, and then I would wait for the team car to get a wheel from the team car, wherever that may be. You know, Steve was in the series leader's jersey, in the white jersey, so the priority was to keep him in the front group and not me, which, you know, is completely fair. Like, I've got nothing against that. However, it then transpired that his bike was set up for some narrower wheels that he was using, so my wheels didn't fit in his bike. So at this stage, we've both let go of the front group and we're both stood on the side of the road and we're both out of the race. By the time I put my wheel back in my bike, the bunch had long gone. We were kind of in no man's land. We had a moto commissaire and the TV motorbike had stopped as well because obviously Steve's in the leader's jersey, so it was a big move in the race that Steve's punched out. And it took another like 3 minutes for the main bunch to come through, and then the convoy was behind that bunch. And, you know, in turn, our race as a team, St. Piran, my race, Steve's race, was ruined as a consequence of no team car, no neutral service being behind our bunch. There was a neutral service in front of our bunch, but for some reason, you know, I don't know the reason, and I'm probably not going to find out the reason. For some reason, that car that was in front of the neutral service car that was in front of the race hadn't been put behind our bunch. Now, this should have been done when the gap was around 30 seconds, so you've always got some neutral service with you, and then when the gap goes out to a minute, they should bring the convoy up with your team cars. Now, I don't know the reasoning for bringing up the convoy. They weren't small roads, they're big wide open roads. There's plenty of chances to do so, and I also don't want to start pointing the finger of blame to anyone. You know, these things happen. It's bike racing. It might have been a simple communication error between some commissaires or something. I don't know. I'm probably not going to find out. That was the end of my race. Steve got his wheel. I tried chasing, but you know, a few guys you're never going to be able to compete against and bring back a bunch of 20 or 30 riders that are racing at the front of a race. So that was pretty much our day over. At this stage, there was maybe 60 guys ahead of us. So the next time through the feed, we called it a day there and just took our losses. But you know, it's mental how a situation can go from being so good. You know, we got 2 guys in the front group at the race. We're nailed on to get a good result here, providing that we finish, to like literally being out the back of the race within minutes. And as a consequence, now Steve has unfortunately lost his position in the leader's jersey for the series. Thankfully, we've got another 6 races though to regain it back and to win that jersey back on his shoulders where it rightfully is deserved. But guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. Just wanted to do a quick little thing there. I didn't want to drag it on. I didn't want to start getting into it too much. Just wanted to bring you guys up to speed as to how yesterday's race went. And that's kind of it. We go again this weekend for an equally hilly race up in the Toro Reservoir. I'm really looking forward to that. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like. And with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow at the same time at 4 p.m. Peace!